I'm your host, Kaylee, and this is Rebel Wellness. Hello, beautiful Rebel soul. Welcome back. I am so grateful for our journey together on the Rebel Wellness podcast. I have absolutely been thrilled with this first season of our podcast, and I am so excited for all the new faces I've met who've joined our community either on Instagram or in the newsletter group. We're rounding the corner to almost 25,000 streams, which for a smaller platform and smaller, everything compared to a lot of the big podcasters out there. And being organic, organically starting this in the first year, not done paid ads or any of that kind of stuff. I've heard a lot of seasoned podcasters tell me that's a really great feat. So I'm excited about that. I'm sure you're excited about that because that means that this podcast is going to keep going. I've committed for several years that I am for sure going to keep this going. I love this mode of education and connecting with you guys. I just love conversation. So with that said, today's episode is a little different, and I promise it's filled with some exciting news and updates, and I can't wait to share them with you. But first, I just want to start with a heartfelt thank you. Thank you for your incredible support, your engaging feedback, and for just being an integral part of this community that we've built together. I literally could not have asked for a better crew, you know what I mean? And I am so grateful for everybody that I've gotten to meet so far, like I've said, but I just have to keep saying that because it's fun for me, because I am so used to being kind of bound by the limitations of my current community, like physically around me, like when I was in Portland, or now that I am in Monterey in California. Like, it's really fun to get to meet and see people from around the US and even some around the world. So I love it so much. So hello, thank you for being here. Thanks for always supporting. And I just really hope that I've helped you feel more empowered in your wellness journey and continue to demystify the world of health for you in general. For those of you in this special bunch who have helped us even more by rating our show and writing reviews or sharing our show on social media, I just want to give you a big virtual hug through the microphone because it really helps us grow and spread the health, like I like to say. And it's so important that our community kind of gives us back some love, So I just want to tell you, I'm giving it back to you again. Thank you for supporting the show. As we continue to expand and evolve, both individually and as a collective, it's essential that we honor the importance of like rest and rejuvenation, right? This is a thing that you guys hear me say all the time. Or if you're new here, you are coming into a very not usual podcast episode. So I would say definitely check out all of either the Best of series from 2023 or just search through and see and listen to whatever title catches your eye. Our top podcasts have been the macros episode on carbs, the Ozempic episode, and the collagen episode. Those are some of our top episodes of all time, but there are so many great ones in there. Like, I personally really love a lot of the inner work episodes. Those are where I get really raw and down to it. If you are somebody who has been listening for a while and you haven't listened to some of those, like the self-sabotage episode or self-love episode, I would definitely encourage you to go check those ones out, because with that little statement I just made of the importance of rest and rejuvenation, keeping that spirit in mind, we are taking a brief 2-week intermission from the podcast. This is a pause that is essential for some reflection, recharging our batteries, and for preparing the stage for the really exciting things coming up in next season. So I want to make sure that you guys know that we are just going to be taking a quick little break, give my podcast editor some time for some R&R, give myself some time for R&R, and also to really get down and dirty in the preparation and execution of the next season. So as we move into season 2 of the Rebel Wellness podcast, I am super thrilled to announce that we're going to be bringing even more interviews with some really, truly amazing guests. I'm talking health experts, thought leaders, voices that are inspirational and very just engaging and funny, like good conversations. You know me, I love to talk. Just kidding. I love conversations and to all capacities with anyone. And so I am very excited for season 2, because it's all about deepening our connection, not just with incredible guests that we're going to have on the show, but with each other as you guys listen to our conversations and get to know a little bit more about, just different perspectives and experiences in the world of wellness. Because as a community, we're committed to wellness, growth, and authenticity. And so you will see all of that in our interviews, which is going to be great. And so I don't want you to miss a single thing during this intermission as we step into this new season. So if you haven't already, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Rebel Wellness Podcast and at Kaylee Loren. You'll find those links to connect with us on Instagram on the show notes. So just check that out if it's easier for you, because my parents gave me a very complicated way to spell Kaylee, so don't try to spell it out. And I'm not Lauren, I'm Loren. So it's lovely, right? Anyways, go to the show notes if you want to connect there, if you haven't already. And I would say that Instagram is the best way currently to stay in the loop, get behind the scenes glimpses, be a part of the daily conversations, and a lot more short form content that we do not have on the podcast. But speaking of staying connected, have you joined our newsletter yet? If not, now is the perfect time, because February's edition of our monthly wellness newsletter is about to launch, and it's packed with just a ton of goodies and health insights and wellness pro tips, modern health science, practical well-being advice, resources, favorite book of the month, inspiration, and just so much more. So if you haven't yet, you can join the newsletter easily at coachkales.com. Throw your email into any of the different spots where you can put it in, and you'll be joined in. And like I like to remind people, I don't spam daily sales things or any of that junk. Literally, especially right now, it is just one awesome health wellness newsletter email a month. In the future, there might be a couple sprinkled in, but at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that you just get a nice little wellness blip into your month where you can kind of go to it and get answers to questions you might have, or be directed towards something that is going to help you better understand certain things. I try to make sure that wellness newsletter is like current and answering a lot of questions that I've been getting asked the month of or the month prior. So kind of like the Stanleys and the lead problem, things like that. I like to make sure that a lot of those topics are covered in these monthly newsletters. So they're a little bit more unique and like up to date compared to some other wellness newsletters you might subscribe to, or the podcast in general, because I like to keep the podcast as up to date as possible. But sometimes it's like really little short things like that that I don't get to put together. So I really hope that if you've already joined the newsletter and you've gotten the last 2, that you've enjoyed them. I've gotten really good feedback from them so far. And so I am excited to bring that for you for free, which is great. With that said, there's several other freebie things on my website that you can find and check out under freebies. I just launched a really valuable detox guide that is my approach to actually achieving long-lasting beneficial detox or reset or realignment. It has some good principles and a list of ways that you can kind of check back in after you come back from a vacay, or just a time off when you just weren't paying attention to anything for your health and you're trying to realign and reset. You can get that guide for free on my website. You can also go to my standout store /Kales. That's a great place for you to download it really quick there as well. Again, I don't spam you guys, so I know a lot of people don't like to do that whole email thing because they don't want to be spammed. I will not spam you, I pinky promise. But here's where it gets even more fun. So in this intermission, over the entire month of February, even though the intermission is only for the first 2 weeks of February, for the entire month of February, I am going to invite you to share your favorite episodes on your Instagram. Could be just in your stories, doesn't have to be a post, but share them on social or with your friends or in your communities, wherever you want. You could also do Facebook since they're kind of synonymous. But for every share, you're going to be entered into a giveaway where you can win a fabulous Rebel Wellness and CBK gear hat. CBK is my prior business name, Coach by Kales. And I have 2 different hat options you can choose from. There's a black one with a CBK logo, and they're both ponytail hats. So they have a little slit where you can put a high ponytail in. They're awesome. And the other one is a logo of And Breathe. It's a white hat, and it is just a phrase that I like to use with my clients that we love to remind us to breathe in any situation, whether you're stressed out or you're working out. Well, I guess those are kind of like one and the same, but if life is kind of getting a little too much, it's like my favorite reminder to just breathe and breathe. So that's why we have that little phrase written on there, and a $75 Amazon gift card. So you will win both the hat of your choice and the $75 Amazon gift card if you get chosen. But it's our way of kind of saying thank you for spreading the love and the wellness vibes. But make sure that you tag at Rebel Wellness Podcast and or at Kaylee Loren so I can write your name down every time you share something to be entered into the prize wheel. I use one of those random generators where I just input all of the names as many times as necessary, and then I just click spin and it goes at random. So, and I usually like to kind of share and post that so people can kind of see the whole thing in real time. So that's always fun. But this giveaway will run until the end of February. And the more reshares of different episodes does count for more entries. So, share as much as you want, but it won't count if you put it up, show me, and then delete it. I would prefer you to leave it up for a full day for it to just naturally expire. And if they're private stories and I cannot see them, you won't be entered in for that time because, I can't see them. So those are just some of the little kind of nitty gritty things if some of you are wondering, because I'm sure there's going to be some questions. But I would be so grateful if you did make sure to tag me and show me, and it'll be really fun because we'll see who gets to win a free hat and the $75 Amazon gift card. So overall, guys, I just want to make sure that we take this time to all kind of, rest, reflect if you need to. You don't have to. We are. And gear up for this incredible season 2. In case you have also been not aware, the last thing I will let you know about for those of you who are maybe listening and wanting to partake in some of my nutrition coaching, what I do for my clients and such, I am launching my very first nutrition course that is going to be 100% DIY, self-paced, but chock full of the foundational food wisdom that I've coached so many nutrition clients successfully on the last decade as a health coach and a nutritionist. I am super freaking excited about this course because I know you will love it because it is a little bit different than probably a lot of the generic nutrition advice that you've gotten in the past or maybe on social media. But it's going to change the game for how you view food. And my goal overall is to help you achieve food freedom so that you never have to follow a strict diet again. So the newsletter is probably the best place for you to find out exactly when it launches this month of February, but make sure you're part of that list if you are not sure, or at least make sure you are following at Kaylee Loren because that is exactly where I'm going to announce the launch date there. If you're listening further after February, you're going to see it. It's going to be up there. It's going to be available. So just go to my website or my Stan store if you would like to join it and purchase it and become a master of macros. So anyways, I hope that you guys are having a really good start to your month. I feel some really good, beautiful, exciting energy coming out of this next season. And I am so thankful and grateful for you coming along Rebel Wellness's journey. And I hope that you take the next couple weeks to kind of have some time exploring other podcast episodes from earlier of last year that you didn't get to listen to yet. This is a great time to do that. And stay tuned because we are going to have some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline real fast. So, all right, Rebel, as always, I hope you celebrate your strength and nourishment, walk with confidence, and I will catch you in a few weeks on another episode of Rebel Wellness.